Welcome to Resourcing with David Obasa, RWDO. Resourcing is a program where we talk about everything resourcefulness, from human capital resourcing to financial capital resourcing to the technological developments that enhance resourcefulness. Last week, we talked about how to prepare for an interview, for employment interview as an experienced person, a senior. This week, we'll be talking about common errors in human capital resourcing. In case you have missed out on any of our previous videos, please go and look at these videos and see what we have discussed about resourcing on RWDO. So, we have 10 nuggets that we would like to discuss with you and we want you to avoid in your human resourcing. Number one of these 10 errors is inadequate or absence of job description. Before you start your recruitment process, you should have job description well spelled out. Therein, you talk about the kind of person you want, the experience the person has or is expected to have, the educational qualification, the disposition, and the various other things that you expect from the role that is out on offer. So, if there is no job description or if there is inadequate job description, that is the beginning of the problem of resourcing, human capital resourcing. So, number one error, inadequate job description or no job description. That should be avoided totally. Number two, failing to look within before looking outside. What do we mean by this? Sometimes what you need to fill a vacant job role is within your organization. So, before you look outside your organization for someone to fill a vacant role, look within the organization. That will save you a lot of things because the staff in your organization already know your organizational culture. They know your do's and don'ts. And they have been trained with your organization's resources. And so, you do not waste time and money recruiting from outside if you can get from within. And so, when you recruit what you can get within from outside, it's second error that is common in human capital resourcing. Number three, do not use the company's human capital recruitment as a way of settling personal, family, and friend unemployment. That is to say, let only people that are qualified be invited for interviews and let them be the ones to get a job, irrespective of who they know or do not know. When you give jobs to people just because they are your family and friends and they are not necessarily qualified for the job role, it is a big error in human capital resourcing. You should avoid it. Number four, avoid fixing job interviews at times when you do not have adequate time for proper scrutiny. So, do not fix job interview at a period when you will not have enough time to properly scrutinize the candidates. Number five, failure to screen a candidate properly due to high-level referral. Maybe the candidate has been sent to you by your chairman or your MD or a director in your firm, and therefore you have not properly scrutinized the candidate because of the high-level referral. It is your duty to properly scrutinize a candidate, no matter who it is that had referred that candidate. Now, if you must pass that candidate, even though the candidate does not fit the job role on offer, be sure to put on your recommendation sheet that this is a strategic hire that had been recommended by so and so. That absolves you from the error of recruiting the wrong person for the job role simply because of high-level referral. Number 6, improper scrutiny of candidate CV or unconsciously making excuses for a candidate. I have seen this happening many times during interviews, where interviewers will begin to make excuses for the candidates. That is wrong. You should not make excuses for the candidate. Allow the candidate to clarify every gray area that had been noticed during the interview. Scrutinize very well, and if there are things you are not very clear about, ask the candidate to clarify such things without helping them to make excuses for their inadequacies. Number 7, do not ignore the disturbing trend that you have noticed in a candidate's work history. For example, you see some candidates changing jobs every 12 to 18 months, and you have seen that trend happening in their CV over and over again. That is a signal that that candidate is being thrown out of jobs either because the candidate had not met the covenant made with the employers or targets set by the employers, or the candidate had not been confirmed for employment because there were certain things that the candidate repeatedly did not settle with previous employers, or the candidate has a problem with their educational qualification, and each time the new employer is about to find this out, they quickly change jobs. So if you notice a disturbing trend in the candidate's employment history, do not ignore it. Number 8, do not dismiss negative signs that the candidate is a misfit for the job. Once you see red flags, maybe the candidate is lying, or the candidate has done some things, or is unclear about why they left the last job role or job function, then these are red flags you should not ignore. Don't dismiss red flags that you have seen. Or if the candidate is evasive when you ask certain pointed questions, do not ignore that because it is red flag. Number 9, hiring specialized skills without the input of subject matter specialists. When specialized skills are being filled, then subject matter specialists have to be present on the interview panel. Then number 10. Before we go on number 10, we want to remind you again that you should please subscribe to this channel. Click on the notification button so that when new videos come, you will be notified. Then also comment, let us know what you feel about us and what you would like to see on RWDO. So, number 10. Do not ignore signs of potential toxicity that are being transmitted by a candidate. What are the signs of toxicity that a candidate can transmit during interview? One of them will be to badmouth current or past employers, Another will be when you see a candidate that is frustrated. Another will be when a candidate is clearly above the age range for the job on offer, or when the candidate is overqualified educationally for the job on offer. The candidate is going to keep complaining when he or she gets that role. And after complaining, he or she is going to pollute your system with toxicity. So, when you see signs of toxicity in the candidate, do not ignore it. You know that is not the person fit for the job role. Quickly drop the candidate. So, you should be very careful not to ignore signs of potential toxicity transmitted by the candidate. So, these are the 10 common errors in human capital resourcing that I would like to discuss with you and that we discussed with you on RWDO. Thank you very much for listening. Till next week, goodbye.